Nearly £79,000 spent, 79,000 of Glazer money, should I say Manchester United money, spent on Andre Onana taking a private jet from Manchester to Ivory Coast only to play one game, rot on the bench, and his national team to be ejected from the Africa Cup of Nations. That is Manchester United for you, and that is the early morning update here on the United Hotspot. My name is Webb. Welcome aboard now, guys. Is it a scare? Is it good news? How do you take it? Andre Onana is already on his way back to his club, Manchester United, following his country, Cameroon's elimination from the Africa Cup of Nations after falling 2-0 to Nigeria in a game where, yet again, Onana started on the bench. Guys, Manchester United has money to spend. That is one thing we know. Now we do understand why this club has been tying down players on heavy contracts, giving them crazy money without caring how they perform. Because if we could spend, as reported by the Athletic, nearly £80,000 on a private jet for Onana from Manchester. I don't even know who negotiated that, what the agreement was, what they had seen in Onana. I think I know. I've never been in the Cameroon camp, but I know that Rigobert Songo has never been a huge fan of Andre Onana. So how why did Man United have to spend all that money for him to go in a private jet? Anyway, this still affected him, if you ask me, because we know that this is a boy full of himself, and doing such a thing to him was always going to make him difficult to calm down and play football. Now he lost his first team place, his starting place to his young cousin, that is Fabrice Ondoa, and now Onana is back to Manchester. Now, should we be worried? No, not at least for the game we are going to be playing against Newport. It was confirmed that Altay Bayindir will start. In any case, I don't think Andre Onana will be taking a private jet, honestly, back to Manchester. I think that would be overdoing it. We would be, I think, having big issues if that happened. But Onana is there. I wonder what is going to happen then when he does return to Manchester United. What will happen after the FA Cup? In the next games following after the FA Cup, the Premier League, and all the other games we shall play. Of course, most of them will be the Premier League if we stay in the FA Cup. I'm thinking, is Eric Ten Hag going to go back to him again as his number one? What exactly is Eric Ten Hag going to do? I'm waiting to see. I'm excited to see. Will he give him some much deserved rest? Onana needs to rest and put his head together, think about his priorities. Does he prioritize enjoying himself and being a star, or does he prioritize playing football and becoming the good goalkeeper he was that warranted a £50 million, move? So those are the questions we should be asking. But the reality is things have not been good for Andre Onana, not at all. So we do expect him to join the team. Of course, maybe he'll be given a few days off. I mean, he has played more football than anyone. He hasn't had time off in the winter break, as his colleagues were on holiday during the winter break. He was himself there, bellowing instructions from the bench for Cameroon, being a second coach and being a cheerleader when they qualified to the knockout stages. So you wonder what Eric Ten Hag will do with him, because we know that Eric Ten Hag doesn't want to spend a second without Andre Onana. He needs him by his side to do what? I don't know. But it is time for Altay Bayindir to now do one simple thing. There is one simple thing Bayindir has got to do. Just play well and play better than Andre Onana. It doesn't matter if Manchester United lose or not. Just play better than Andre Onana. Just like Fabrice Ondoa did for Cameroon. All he did was play better, even if they lost. All he did was play better than Onana. He conceded goals, but just do one thing, Bayindir. Be better than Onana, and trust you me, the debates will go on and on and on what exactly should be done. Because for me, honestly, and it's no hate against Onana, I think he's not his career at United is not gone, but it is for him to reflect on himself, reflect on his style, reflect on his goalkeeping, reflect on everything around him, focus on what is right instead of focusing on the noise in the stands and on social media. Onana has got to calm down and play football. Forget about the stardom, forget about the clout, because that alone can break you. And that's exactly what is happening. If you ask me, I think the reason that Andre Onana is struggling is not because he's really a player. it's because he has failed to calm down in his head and concentrate on what pays him, playing football in the keeping that goal of Manchester United. He's focused more on the clout that has come with his move, how he has been treated, the much money he's earning, the naysayers, and trying to prove to the critics that, even if you don't like me, even if you're calling me out, I'm still the number one goalkeeper of Manchester United. I think he has got a lot of assurance from Eric Ten Hag, and maybe that as well has made him feel untouchable, and all that gets in his head. And for me, that is partly or hugely why he's struggling. So this is a time for him to reflect. And if Bayindir puts in a good shooter, that's why I say Bayindir should perform well for Onana. Onana should be a far better goalkeeper than Bayindir. But Bayindir should perform better than him for Onana's sake, because that is what will wake up Onana. If Bayindir performs well and Onana doesn't wake up, then we should just give up on him. We should just know that this guy is just not going to be football for Manchester United. We should just give up on him and just think of something else. But for me, that's exactly what we have got to be praying for. So Baindil will be making his debut, starting in goal. Later on, of course, I'll be dropping you a video of what I think the starting 11 will be and what I think we should expect in this game against Newport. But uh, you don't think if Baindil is starting in goal, Eric Ten Hag will make so many changes to the team up front, because you don't want to again try out so many things. More so, if you've got a new goalkeeper in between the sticks, you want to keep the core of your team up front. But also for Eric Ten Hag, this FA Cup is so important. It's so important for him because it might be the one thing that could make him look serious in the eyes of Sir Jim. Because honestly, since Sir Jim Ratcliffe came and took over football, Eric Ten Hag hasn't had a single game that you feel has, sort of endeared him to Sir Jim or cemented him, because the first game I think that had Sir Dave Brailsford in the stands was the miraculous win over Aston Villa. I don't think it was the kind of display Eric Ten Hag would have wanted to sell to his new bosses. I don't think it was really that exciting. The games that followed, the few of those, the one where Sir Jim Spurs game started well, but again, it's not. That's where Sir Jim was in the stands. I don't think it was the kind of game again that Eric Ten Hag will look back and think about and think, okay, this one gave a good representation. So he has got to put in the right shift. The team has got to still got a lot to prove. And against a small team like Newport, that's your best chance to win over the heart of your new employer. So for me, I think he wants to keep his core team. I'm hoping a few new faces come in a bit, but I think with Bindil starting in goal, most of the upfield players will not really be. He won't think a lot. I saw on the trip, the team that went, I saw Ahmad Diallo was there. Good to see it. They took the flight to Wales, so there was Diallo in there. Victor Lindelof is back training on grass, but obviously not fit enough to be playing. I saw, of course, Kobe Mainu. I saw uh, Casemiro was there. So yeah, we'll talk about the squad in a bit. But yeah, that's pretty much what's going on with Manchester United. Onana is on his way back. Are you happy? Are you worried? Are you sad? Is it exciting? What do you expect? Hotspot, subscribe. My name is Webb.